Hello, good morning.
Good morning, John. How you doing?
Good. Well, I got a couple items there, nothing too difficult, I don't think. One's relative to funding and one's relative to hiring. I don't know if you got a choice which one first, but maybe we'll jump
We'll
into
just go to the, first discussion is the loan application for Manaway Emergency Water Interconnect project.
Okay.
You wanna go over that first?
Yes.
John?
So this is one of the first projects anyways, for the 5-year, I guess, planned improvements anyways for the new Manaway infrastructure.
Mhm.
So obviously, we're trying to get some grant and funds anyways to alleviate the cost anyways for the customers in the future here. So this is one of the first ones. This is the first preliminary step, just asking for permission to apply. Obviously, there'll be some steps in the future, you know, if we do get accepted. Obviously, you guys will be involved and, you know, probably need some signatures and that type of stuff, so. This project's about $3.5 million anyways, so it's pretty good sizable for us. There's a chance maybe if it does get approved, that probably the maximum is they will pay about 50% of that.
Oh, wow.
So if that is successful, so we'll see what happens. And the application is coming here in a few days, so don't need your involvement after this permission.
Okay.
That'll get processed and we'll see what the results are.
Okay, sounds good, yep. Okay, next we have proposed wages for a new potential new hire.
Yes, so we interviewed here several days ago for one of the engineer positions that we have open.
Okay,
And
the
we're not.
design engineer.
Yes, so we're not getting a heavy response. We interviewed an applicant, we feel it's a pretty good fit to meet what we're looking for. And, but one of the things anyways, he is employed currently now elsewhere. His salary is more now where he's working anyways than what our minimum range is for this application. So I know there's been some discussions about, you know, new hires and what the expectations are for what they make when they do join the county. So with that anyways, I think the idea is that when you bring somebody on new with the initial intent that you want them down at the initial range. Well, obviously that doesn't meet, I guess, this scenario that we currently have. It does meet the mid-range scenario. If I was to offer this person this, you know, a position, and I think it would be successful anyways, it would come in at the mid-range anyways at this point, not
Do you
the
know what that
initial
is?
range.
Do you know what the midpoint is?
29.22, I think exact. And that's why I referenced the wage chart from 12, 13, 18. I think there's some cost of living adjustments in there that are excluded out of that. There may be, I guess, a little bit difference when I reference that 19 or 29.22 is the exact mid-range.
What is he currently making, and is he doing the same job, or is there something different?
Similar, he's doing more construction now, this is more design, but they are interrelated and relative, and we think that isn't gonna be a problem in transferring that over. He currently makes $27 an hour now.
So is there anything well, how's that gonna, and here's our concern, is, you know, we hired him in, but he's working next to people that may
Sure.
be on the low end, even though they've been here years. And this is an overall county problem we're having, and that's why we need to revisit that scale and
Sure.
figure out.
I mean, currently, we have, for example, we do have a design engineer, you know,
Okay.
and he's substantially above this salary, even the one that I'm proposing at this point.
So it's not gonna,
There's nobody, for example, you know, and then the person that we have in that design engineer position now too has, you know, a gross amount more experience, but his salary is quite a bit more also. I don't have a scenario where I'm bringing somebody in that's even equal on the salary or even more, I mean, which would be a
and I know, like,
bad
Julie's
case.
just start him out, like, we wouldn't start him at the 29, 22, maybe start him between the 27, 29, and then after probationary period, we would bump him up to, like, let's say the 29, 22. And I'm assuming, could you come up with some proposal like that?
Well, you know, I'm
Or-
limited to, you know, he makes 27 now.
Okay.
I mean, you know, obviously, I mean, there is some differences in between the set 27 and 29 that you could offer.
Mhm.
But my feelings are, I guess, to motivate somebody to bring them aboard. I mean, for example, if I offer somebody 27.50 when they make 27 now,
Well,
I
but
just-
now
I
I'm
feel
saying,
like the
in
intent-
between the 27 and the 29, if he's making 27 now, like, we would have maybe offered him like 28.50, and then after his probationary period, we bump him to the 29.22.
I see.
That's what we were used to seeing at your department.
Yeah, but, and I'm aware of that anyways.
Oh, are you? Okay.
There is a little bit of additional, I don't wanna overwhelm the details on this initially.
no.
But what I was thinking in the proposal letter, he is not a professional engineer, he hasn't taken the test yet, but he will be eligible in the fall. And I wanted to write something in there, if he's successful in passing that test anyways, that we would give him additional raise at that time. But that's on additional to the 29.
On top of the 29?
Yeah.
What is, whoever's doing the job now, where are they at?
Mid or high 30s.
Oh, yeah. But they have an engineer's license.
They have an engineer's
So
license
that's a
and
huge
more years'
difference.
experience. But he will have the opportunity in the fall. No raise until he passes it. Obviously, if he can't pass or doesn't pass it, then he won't, you know, won't meet the extra.
But he doesn't truly have the certifications.
We don't require that you have an engineer's license at the start for this
Okay.
position.
Okay, well, that's good to know, okay. You're not, it's not required.
I mean, our feelings are, it's not required at this point, so, I mean, he's eligible, I'm not doing anything special or allowing something, you know.
Oh, no,
I
and
guess
I'm not
a
saying you
lesson
are,
just to
but-
get him
okay.
on board anyways. I mean, he's meeting all our eligibility requirements for the way the position's outlined. So with that, I mean, I'm just, you know, it's a touch and balance, and I understand, you know, that different departments are different based on, I guess, the experience and the level of schooling and certifications and that. You know, my feelings are with, you know, if this person is successful anyways in passing the test anyways in the fall and that, you know, even with the increase and to be successful anyways, after the test anyways, that salary range is, you know, at that point, we don't have any mechanism anyways to come back to you and say, hey, the guy's been here a couple of years, he's doing a good job, I wanna give him a couple dollars an hour raise. At least in my experience, there is no mechanism to do that. So I'm trying to find a balance anyways, as he's hired on, and to keep the person engaged anyways and wanting to come to work.
Yeah.
You know, there's a whole side to this. We're involved in hiring consultants, you know, now. We probably don't have a very positive, I guess, reasoning why we're doing that. We find ourselves spending a lot of time coaching and mentoring, you know, after, I mean, for example, we have a sewer design project going on now. The consultant, I mean, it's almost $600,000, you know, to do design work. And
He would do the design work of that type?
That's, yes. I mean, yeah, this position anyways would be an equivalent of the people we're hiring to do that project that I just gave you an
Okay.
example for.
Well, that's good.
So you can
know,
save, we
so-
can save.
Oh, yeah, it's substantial.
Like
But the
this.
thing of it is, with the consultants, we find ourselves spending a lot of our own time monitoring their work.
Yep.
So it's sort of doubly, I mean, there's a benefit, you're getting something out of it, but there is it's a discussion maybe for another day on that, but,
Okay.
so that's where we're at, so I don't know if you want to look at making some minor adjustments, or you want to
No,
come back?
that's the only
or-
thing that I noted is like I said, if, you know, our whole thing was to bring people up to the minimum, but we're finding, you know, in some positions, it's hard to do because you're bringing people in, making more than people that have been there.
Yeah.
So that doesn't seem to be the case in this, which is good.
I do not have that. I guess my summary of it is if this person comes on board, they pass the PE, I even give them that couple increase. I mean, probably I'm gonna struggle as time goes by, is probably to keep him engaged anyways and keep him employed anyways at the county, based on if I go and do the things anyways that I'm
Yeah,
outlining.
it seems like we've had a really hard time recruiting engineers. I mean, it's just, there's a big demand out there, it seems like. Okay, so what do you need from the state? 'Cause I don't see anything on here, because it would have to come back
Well, you know, I've been discussing this with Janet and, you know, where she's at with things. So, I mean, I think the intent is in general, hey, we're down here at this initial range. And that's why I'm here today anyways, I guess to preliminary
and then
discuss this
Bring back the
anyways.
journal entry and stuff. Okay. All right, well, you convinced me. Vicky, Tony, you guys have anything?
I think your thought process is right on.
So, in general anyways, if I could get 4 or 5 people even more to replace the consultants, I think we would be substantially better.
A lot of
Absolutely.
savings.
We would be
yeah,
substantially
absolutely.
better anyways, but that's another discussion for another day.
That's a good idea.
Okay.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John.
Anything else? Thanks.
Oh, and now we have your resolution, can you wanna read for H Blue Light, that's one
Yeah.
Diane, or Joanne said she already reviewed.
It's moved enter into an agreement between Portage County Board of Commissioners on behalf of Water Resources and H.L. Louis Construction Company.
Second?
Okay, roll call?
Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Sabrina?
Yes. And we can approve that journal entry.
It's moved the Board of Commissioners authorize Portage County Water Resources to submit the pre-application for the WRSLA loan with Ohio EPA for Manaway Emergency Water Interconnect Project to support Manaway, Village of Manaway Public Water Systems.
Second?
Okay, roll call?
Tony?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yes.
Sabrina?
Yes. Thank you, John.
Okay,
for
thank
coming in.
you.
If you need
Okay.
anything, you know where to get us.
Okay, sure, thanks.
Thank you.
There you go. Kelly, throw out there, Amy?
You know, I'm all for that. You have two directors.
Kelly, you ready?
And you're- you have to-
I know.